Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Romances. There are some desperate ones that I found this week, so I just want to dive right into it. There are actually some online mangas that I found as well, and I wasn't going to include them, but some of them are so bad that I just couldn't resist having to put them in, because you guys have to see these too. The first one we have here is a manga from ebookrenta.com. It's m/m, which I assume is another way of saying yaoi. A manga called He's a Predator. Yeah, it's literally called He's a Predator. So if that doesn't give you an idea of what this is about, then I don't know what will, because that is pretty forward. So the synopsis is, and I'm going to butcher these names, I apologise, but I'll do my best. Yuma has trouble dealing with the stress of being a TV presenter, and every time he tells his friend Yasuharu about his stress, insert name here, says something weird like, "I'll eat you." But one day, Yuma's job proves too much for him, and insert name here finds him passed out on his apartment's floor. Can insert name here hold back his true feelings? Okay, so this doesn't seem so bad if you just read the synopsis, even though "I'll eat you" is just fucking weird. But the synopsis is pretty deceptive, because you'd think that, oh, it's just maybe like a boy-on-boy love story, but judging by the photo here and judging by the name He's a Predator, and pretty much judging from all the mangas that get advertised on my Facebook, I do not trust it. I think this is probably one of the many yaois out there that are incredibly rapey and just predatorial and just so bad for the LGBT community, although I don't really think the LGBT community really takes yaois like this seriously. Just go watch Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice is wholesome, you know. don't read this stuff. It's not good. Another manga we have here would be perfect for the Reddit r/notlikeothergirls, because the synopsis says, "I was just a tomboy with nothing lovable until he found me and called me his princess." Oh, these ads have an awful way of, you have to scroll to see different panels. So the thing that I've screenshotted here is just the first panel it showed on the advert, and as you can see, this girl is clearly a tomboy. She has short hair. She has short hair and black hair, so clearly she is not like the other girls. She is a tomboy, and nobody could possibly love her, because she is so different from all those other princesses out there. But then this one guy sees something special in her. What? Oh my god, this is so... it's just like everything else out there. Every romance story that you can find. You go into your nearest bookstore, there's probably about 20 of these on the first shelf. Maybe not mangas, but the same story. But it's called Red Honey. You can read it on Tappytoon, but you have to pay by chapter, so I wouldn't recommend it. Right guys, this one here is just... it is so bad that I actually don't have any words. I sent it to my sister and my friend Neve when I found it, because I couldn't actually believe that this was being advertised as a legitimate book. And even in the comment section of this ad, normally you find in the comment sections people who like the author of the books, and they would be like, "Oh, I love this book, I know this book was great and I love this author's writing." But in the comment section of this one, everyone was just like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "What the fuck? Is this an actual book? And why isn't it just on fanfiction.net?" Because you'll see now when I read it, there's not really a name for the book. It's just under the Romance Queen Books. It doesn't even give an author. Maybe they don't want their name attached to it, I don't know. But it's under the Romance Queen Books, and the synopsis goes like this. "They removed the suit off me, injected some kind of liquid, and tied me to a table. Other armoured aliens got to work hosing me down and drying me. I'm powerless to resist it, and I'm in an incredibly vulnerable position. You know how they always have those movies where you've been abducted by aliens, stretched out on a table, and you have these creepy things surrounding you, ready to probe you under a garish light? Kinda like that, except that I'm fully undressed and each of my limbs are tied to one end of the table I'm on. My hands are clamped by metal bracers above me. My ankles are clamped in the same way. My chest heaves up and down, and I can't take this seriously, this next line. I can't. Oh God. My chest heaves up and down, and my nips have become pointed from the undue attention I'm being given. I should be terrified, but I'm more detached from my body. Want to know what they did to me next? Click here to get my book. Oh my God. Her nips have become pointed, guys. What is this book? And look at the cover. Look at it. It's like someone edited it on PZAP, and then they clearly painted this woman's dress on. Like Neve said, the dress was painted on by MS Paint, because look at all the wiggly lines and stuff. And oh, it's basically a really badly written porn fan fiction with aliens, because these armored aliens are clearly going to probe her and her nips. And this fella's green here, so I assume he's one of the aliens that are going to be doing the probing. But oh man, I can't believe stuff like this exists. This is a legitimate book that you can buy. This isn't on Wattpad or fanfiction.net. This is being sold on legitimate book websites. Well, it's on her own website, so that kind of explains things. But yeah, I think this will be the entry into what's that book, because I'm still in awe that this is an actual novel that you can buy. Like, you can buy this and it'll be a physical book in your hand, nips and all. So I saw this term popping up on my Facebook a lot called reverse harem bad boys, and I wasn't quite sure what it meant, so I looked it up. And basically, reverse harem is basically a book genre or a media genre where there's one woman and she is surrounded by men. And it's basically the reverse of a harem, which I think is some religious thing where there's a man and he has loads of wives. So basically it's the reverse of that, and it's books and media where there's one woman and loads of men probably vying for her attention. So this next one that I'm looking at here is actually hashtagged as bully romance. I actually can't believe that's a thing. Bully romance. Like, people really suffer from bullying. Can you really... Well, you can make a romance out of it. It's called Abuse Stories. But let's read the synopsis. A long time ago, I was one of them. Now I'm back, and they hate me for it. Plucked out of the harsh life I was living and thrust into a world of unimaginable wealth, power, and privilege, all I want to do is keep my head down and survive until graduation. But they have other plans. Mason, Finn, Elijah, and Cole. Everyone at my new school calls them the princes, and that's exactly what they act like. They always get what they want, and who they want. And they want me. I'm not sure why, since they all seem to hate me. The princes are gorgeous, flawless, and cruel. They own this town, and they're determined to own me too, to break me. What they don't know is that I've already been broken once, and I won't let it happen again. Oh, oy vey. I can't with all this. They want me. I'm the chosen one. It's like, I am the Jedi of female protagonists where all these boys just can't resist me. All these books is just Mary Sue Street, and you turn a corner into Mary Sue Lane and up the road into the Mary Sue estate. All these women, I bet they're written like flawless, like they don't have any flaws, and they're all just so beautiful. I mean, look at this woman in the photo. Look at the woman in the advert. I just, none of these characters strike me as interesting, or like they don't make me want to follow a story through their point of view. Like, listening to this girl talk about how all these boys want her, that doesn't make me go, oh well, I have to pick up this book, because it just sounds boring. It's been done before. It doesn't sound interesting, and it doesn't sound unique, and it doesn't sound like something that I would enjoy reading. Maybe that's just my taste, because clearly there's a market for these books somewhere. I'm just not part of it. Maybe I'm the crazy one, I don't know. To cap off, let's have another Siobhan Davis book. This one is called Why Forever Changes. I can't stop the whimper that escapes my mouth in time, and Ryan turns a very unflattering shade of red. If his jaw clenches any tighter, he'll give himself a lockjaw. This is not what it looks like, I rush to assure him before he loses it. And nothing happened, so there's no need to go ape on Slater. Someone better start explaining, Ryan grumbles, and Slater's still behind me, slowly coming to. Ryan, dude, stop freaking out, Slater says after a tense minute of silence, his voice drenched with sleep. I was only consoling Belle, that's it. No need to look at me like you want to rip my head from my body. That's not the only part of your anatomy I'd like to dismantle right now, my brother growls, slanting thunderous looks in Slater's direction. Seriously, chill bro. Slater scoots away from me and I feel instantly cold. I lie flat on my back as he swings his legs out of the other side of the bed. Resting his elbows on his knees, he yawns. Thank God he's wearing a tank and sweats and he's gotten himself under control. The last thing I need is Ryan jumping to conclusions. So guys, who wants to bet that he wasn't just making sure that Belle was okay and they were actually up to something before our hero of the story, our true hero here, Ryan, came and interrupted them? Something tells me that Slater's intentions weren't pure, but I don't think Belle was complaining. Of course Belle wasn't complaining. Like, I'm running out of things to say about these books, especially about Siobhan Davis's ones, because they all feel like the same story. Like, if you put all these snippets that are in the advertisements together, they would all feel like the same story. Like, they all sound like they could come from the same book. There's nothing unique that makes them stand out. They all just sound like your standard romances. And if that's what you like to read, then fine, there's no harm in that. I suppose that's innocent enough. But it's not my sort of scene for books. I like to read things that are unique and interesting. That sounded salty as hell. I'm piling the salt on here. It's like, my books I like to be interesting. But I just don't understand why or how more like people can read these and not feel like they've read it all before, because it all sounds the exact same. But maybe I'm insane, maybe I look too much into it, maybe I just need to lighten up. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. Please do check out my book, the links are in the description below, and check out my sister's books. Don't do any of that if you don't want to. I don't want you there if you don't want to be there. And check out my social medias if you want. Again, don't if you don't want to. Why would you be there if you don't want to be there? And don't send any hate to these authors. These videos are just for fun. So I'll see you next time, guys, and just don't buy these books, okay? See ya.